cut, how it's given to the customer, the way that the customer orders, the interaction between the person cutting the meat and the customer themselves. What should that look like? How did that conversation go? Basically all of those things, as well as the cooking process. I mean, we do our best to take I'd say cooking barbecue is a big mix of science with art. And it's like it's a combination because you got to know things like temperature, time, things like that. And that's all the science part of it. But then there's also simply just looking at and feeling and touching what you're cooking, whether it's meat, rib, whatever you're doing, and knowing intuitively what something's supposed to feel like. And that takes, at least for us, it took, several years to develop that. And we still work on that every single day. Like, we hear from customers all the time. Like, one of the biggest things we hear from customers, which is great, I love to hear this, they always tell us, don't change a thing, right? But what they don't know is that we've been changing stuff for years. And that's why our food has stayed really good, because we're always tweaking, adjusting. No, we're not changing like the core of what our food is or what it tastes like, but a little more pepper on this now, a little more salt. Every day is an adjustment. We taste the food every day, and then that way we know how good or not good our job has done. And if something doesn't meet our standards, we simply do not serve it. So that's our philosophy. That's our method.
That's impressive. It sounds like there's a lot of discipline that goes into it.
There is. You got to really be, barbecue is something that I think you really have to be dedicated, especially once you get started. Thinking about just like cooking a brisket, for example, you're looking at anywhere from 12 to 14 hours possibly, and we use live fire only. So our machines aren't assisted by any electric or gas or anything like that. So there physically has to be a person there to put a log onto the fire that knows what that log is going to do, what the fire is, what the temperature is right now, what they're looking for it to be in the future, things like that. You got to stay dialed in. If you want to be consistent and make your food as good as it can possibly be, you got to stay dialed in. And not only that, you can't get complacent. We're always, comparing ourselves to other top places and trying to see what we can do better, and how we can get better all the time. And barbecue is about taking a huge amount of variables like the weather, the wood, the meat, who's cooking it, the hand that touches it, all of that stuff, and still somehow each day coming out with a consistent product where if a guest comes to your restaurant on Thursday, they're going to come back on Friday and get the same exact rib or slice that they got before. So that's what we're really trying to do.
When it comes to like hiring someone, your very first hire, whenever that was, if that was back in the truck, or how do you make sure you're getting the right person in there?
You don't, you just you try and identify personality, work ethic right there, willingness to work, and we've always had, I'd say, pretty good luck.
We've had good people.
Yeah.
Yes.
With, because most people, I think they see what it is. We were so exposed in the parking lot, so it's not like they couldn't see the kitchen. I mean, they knew this was in a parking lot. It's hot. It's cold. You're on your feet. You're on the asphalt. It's hard work. It's long hours. And so most people that inquire, or at least, because back then we didn't really have a front of house. I mean, we did have the trailer. But if anyone wanted to help out in the smokehouse, they pretty much, I think they already knew. So we didn't have anyone that asked. Then they started and they found out, and then, no, this isn't for me. I mean, it's pretty obvious what it is. And we would have given them the rundown of the hours, and, there's some danger with the fire, but I mean, there's not when you're good with it, but you have to know what you're doing. And every piece of wood you pick up is different. And you have to know, like when I pick up a piece of wood, every time I pick one up, I'm looking for something. If I see how big it is, I'm already thinking how it should feel in my hand, how heavy. I'm like, nope, I don't want this one. I'm looking for something. I need quicker temp. I need a lighter piece, or I don't need a lot. I need a smaller piece. I need a long piece because of the way my fire's stacked. I'd say that's a pretty tricky part is, you don't just go pick up a log and hurl it in there, I mean, and that might work, but not for me. I'm always...
Fire's a chess game, man.
Yeah.
You have to stay ahead of the fire because... So you put logs in. I know we're talking about hiring, but now we're talking about barbecue again. So You put, like Robert's saying, man, you got to, it's a chess game. You got to stay ahead of it. You put logs in, you got to know what your piece is going to do when you put it into the fire, not to spike your temps, not to send a lot of flames into the firebox, things like that. And it takes time and a trained hand to be able to learn that kind of thing. We're also fortunate and blessed that we have a really great wood supplier, Michael Blankenship and his family. They do a great job of bringing us consistent wood, so that really helps eliminate some of those variables. Because again, like I was talking about before with the variables, it's the wood. Again, that's another thing. It's you got to cook every day with wood that's all the pieces are slightly different, but yet you have to come out with the same consistent product. So that's a challenge.
What kind of wood are you guys using?
We use post oak. That's what we go for. It's very abundant around here. It's part of the white oak family, so it is a white oak. If we like post oak and white oak a lot because it burns slow. It burns for a long time at a very consistent temperature, so it really helps maintain a fire. We've cooked with a lot of different woods, and there's a lot of great woods out there to cook with. So we stick with that, though, because it's abundant in this area, and we don't want our flavor profile on our food to change. So if we all of a sudden one day started going hickory, like change that up, it would change the way our food tastes. So white oak, post oak is that's what we're looking for. Yep, that's what we're looking for.
You guys ever experimented with different wood?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially when we're home cooking. I mean, I've done every wood I could possibly find, I think. And there's a lot of great combinations out there. Some of those can get kind of pricey when you're talking about a restaurant setting. Like if you wanted to cook exclusively with like cherry wood, for example, that's going to be pretty expensive because fruit woods they're just more. But most of the style that we go for is leaning toward this like homage to Central Texas, like the old meat markets and old school places down there. And they cook with a lot of oak and post oak as well. And so we feel like that our beef and our product that we're putting out, we want it to be a little bit as like an homage to some of those, old school places who've been doing it for like 75 to 100 years. And we're just trying to keep telling that story and really tell their story and keep it going. So
what got you guys down in Central Texas in the meat markets and learning about all this?
Oh, man.
Curiosity, man.
Yeah,
Desire.
looking at the pictures, man. I just seeing what they were doing down there, how good the food looked, wondering, I mean, what is this like? Yeah. Go ahead, Bob. Yeah, tell them.
What we're doing here, you want some experience, and you want to know what it tastes like. You want to see maybe their methods, how their line flows, anything about the restaurant, and you just want to experience it too. When you get there, you see lines, you smell the wood burning. They're cooking right now for tomorrow, or they're cooking some for tonight, whatever it is. And you go in, and a lot of these places are old. They've been around a long time, and they're just in there hacking up meat,
grinding it out,
and and some of them seriously old, like cutting blocks. Just a lot of history in these places.
There's
and
stories.
You want to go experience it, and then you get to taste it. And it's just incredible. It really is. Their meats, whatever they do with their sides. Some places, what's the place that doesn't have any silverware?
Kreitz Market, because they started as a grocery store. So the barbecue was a way to preserve the meats or like to sell the meats that they couldn't cut as a grocery store. So when you go there to eat, all you have is butcher paper, crackers, and they usually give you like an avocado or something because that was what was at the grocery store. Pickles, onions, crackers, maybe an avocado for a little fat element or whatever, but you're getting served on paper, no forks, no knives, no nothing, because that's how it is. And there's a story there. And what we're trying to do with our barbecue is help carry on the story of these people that are doing this in the fashion that they're doing it. If you want to hear the truth, barbecue is about people. Yeah, I know it's like the meat and everything involved, but the celebration of people who have dedicated their entire lives to like getting up at 5 every morning, getting that meat on and cooking it and being consistent, and they're still there, they're still putting it out. That's what's inspiring to us. And we want to share some of that experience that we've had with folks here in the River Valley. It's one of the reasons our restaurant's a little bit different. I don't know if you're going to get to this or if I should just stop talking or keep talking, but you come in, we have a cafeteria style line. We have tables butted up next to each other, and you might sit right next to somebody you don't know. And that's what we did in Texas. And we went there and we sat next to people we don't know, and we struck up a conversation. And we met people, and you meet people and friends and talk, and it's fun, and there's an element to that. And it's something that's, I mean, I'll just go ahead and put it out there. I think it's an element that's missing in our society right now, is that you can go to some place where everyone is happy to be there. They're excited because they want to know about the food. They're all eating barbecue. You sit next to somebody, hey, what's that on your plate, man? What's this? I remember we shared food with people we didn't even know.
Yes, we did.
Because they had something we wanted, and vice versa. It's all family style.
Barbecues always bring people together.
Yeah, man.
You come over to the barbecue. You don't. Oh, we're going over to John's house. We're gonna make some sandwiches. I mean,
No,
like lunch meat or having soup.
it's not happening. No,
It's you're grilling out or you're barbecuing, and that's what this is. You know, barbecue's awesome, and I get that people want their own table and stuff, but we even took that piece of history from Texas and we did it here. Just butt them up next to each other. Some people, it'll never be for them. That type of, and hopefully they'll at least get some food to go.
Right.
But I love that. Every time we went there, we always ended up sitting with some people or sharing a table, and we met people from all over the country. I mean, because it's not always locals. A lot of locals don't go to some of these places anymore because they're so busy, and they'll go somewhere else. And it's the tourists or people looking for that experience that go, and it's awesome. And we don't have that kind of draw yet, so we do from around Arkansas. We do have a lot of traveling from Arkansas, but I think a lot of people like us like it. They think it's cool.
Yeah, your restaurant is unique, I think, around here because you go in and you get in no other restaurant has you kind of in this line where you're talking to people around you, and then when you get to the where to order, it just feels like, I don't know, every time I've been there, it feels like y'all are a family just serving us food.
We get along. We have a good time. Yeah. We have a good crew.
Very unique.
And it can get really loud in there, and that's not a good thing, but it is because everyone's talking, have a good time. Sometimes it's hard to take an order just because there's a 20-person line, and almost everyone in the line is talking it up with each other. Then the people at the tables are talking. So it can get loud in there. It's not a quiet environment. I mean, it's fun. It's happening. You come in, we got try and keep the music where you can hear it, but not overpowering. So you got music, people are talking, meat's getting cut. I mean, trays are going out, food's looking good, it smells good. It's fun, and it's fun to eat good food.
Yeah, it is. And like you touched on, man, like that's unique to us in town, having that little line, right? And luckily these days the line moves a lot faster than it did at the truck because we actually have a full assembly line now, which is fantastic. So anybody out there who is scared of the line, come join us for some barbecue. The line won't be that scary anymore for you. But the little time you do spend waiting in the queue, you get to talk. If you like, you get to talk to other people, ask them what they're ordering, what's good here, what do you like here, what'd you get last time, how do I order here. There's always those conversations that are sparking, people also just meeting each other. I like to tell the crew we throw a barbecue from Thursday to Sunday. We throw a party. It's a big party. We just cook up and hope people show up, and they do. So it's been a lot of fun. And
I like
we're
to
very
say something funny about our line.
Yeah.
Before we got the building, when we were going through the process with the builder, banks, architect, whoever we were dealing with, we were always we had to pencil in where the line would be and how to deal with that, and it would go out this door, but we want that covered, okay, and we want screens here, and we would get looks like we're gonna have this line,
Yeah.
You pointed out to me one time, it was so funny. I'm like, yeah, they do. They hear us talking about this long line, and they think, yeah, okay, but yeah, we do have a line, and it goes out the glass door into the patio, and but we move it fast. It's a fast moving line. Truck was much slower. You step up to the window, and it was kind of one-on-one until it was over. So, but we still moved quick. But now it's you're up to the cutter, and then your meat's moving down and you're collecting sides, we can move a long line in 15, 20 minutes.
So you're saying the builder was doubting that was a good idea?
I'm not going to say the builder, but maybe it was. We love Jim and his whole crew.
We love you, Jim.
But when we, would talk about the line, of course, Jim, he's bought a bunch of barbecue from us, so he knows there's a line.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who, but it was funny, because when you say that stuff, they didn't understand like what this style of food brings. But I mean, there's lines at other restaurants, but it might be,
Take a number.
Sporadic, so there's not an actual line, but there's people waiting. I mean, people wait 20, 30 minutes to go to Chili's or something. I do, if I want to go. But ours, it's line up, So we had to design an area and leave enough space everywhere and out the door and wrap around for the line. Because when we went to Texas, they had, roped off. We knew we had to have something. If you don't,
Chaos.
And if it's raining,
nobody's gonna come.
Yeah, people aren't gonna want to come unless you can accommodate the line. The line is it's real with this kind of barbecue, and it's good at the truck because we were exposed. We were on West Main Street. Now we're a block off. There'd be people, and we talked with everyone. We were always cutting and talking. We were, like I said, exposed. People could see our whole operation. Now there's the smokehouse is in the back. So unless you go back there, you don't see what's going on. So we were always meeting people and talking to people. And some people, we would ask them, actually, we did this a lot. We'd say, hey, how you doing? What's your name, man? And they'd give us their name. From around here? And they say, no. And they, well, how'd you find out about us? And they said, well, I was driving down the road and I saw this huge line. And I thought it must be good. And said, I waited 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And, of course, we're like, well, we think so, and we hope you like it. But, the line actually grabs people and deters some, too. Some people, it's not for them, but, it's true. If you see a line, it's something good.
Yep, you're right about that.
So
100%.
That worked in our favor. We like the line.
How do you find new customers now that you're kind of just a block off? You can still see you if you're looking, but plenty of people, I'm sure, drive by and never look over there.
Sure. I guess right now we're not really. We do some advertisement on Facebook. We're also on the radio and some stuff like that. Right now, most of the way we gain new customers, I feel like is organic, word of mouth. Our catering department does a great job of booking events, and then that gets our name out there with food to new guests who have never tried it before. We also do a good amount of charity with our food here in town. Like we're going to be doing the food stock this year for River Valley Food for Kids. So I think some of that stuff helped attract new guests as well.
What was that other one we just did? Taste of the Valley.
Taste of the Valley.
We've done that.
Fun.
Yeah, we do that. You get a lot of new people with that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Seems like there's some more.
I wanted to go. I don't know. I don't know if we're live or this is going to be edited or what, but I wanted to go back and just briefly touch on why we set up our cutting line like we do. Would that be possible?
Yeah, we'd love to. Because have you ever seen The Founder, that movie? It's
about McDonald's. With Ray Kroc?
Yes.
Yeah, or about Ray Kroc and McDonald's.
And
yeah.
the way they designed their lines.
Yes.
This is how I'm picturing y'all did it. You went to a tennis court, chalk.
Yes, yeah. So, we definitely, Robert was like the main architect of getting everything measured and drawn out and everything. But one of the main differences and advantages, in my opinion, to the way that we serve barbecue is each guest that comes up not only gets personal service, but they can see the exact cut that they're getting. They see the whole meat that we've cooked, whether it's a whole brisket, a pork butt, a rack of ribs, whatever that is. They're able to actually have a conversation back and forth about what kind of food or which I'd like this bone, I'd like that cut, I'd like this much. And that's something that's very unique to our style. And we want to encourage customers even more to make sure that when they get up to the cut line, that they're talking to their cutter and say, hey, I want my brisket a little bit more on the fatty side, or I like the small bone sides of the ribs, not, things like that, where you can actually choose and get the meal that you want. I just think it's a great way to do barbecue in general. It's all a la carte pretty much. So you pick your meats, pick your sides. We do like picnic style sides, and it's old school. I mean, it really is. It's old school, but it's great.
It also helps sell food. So when they're seeing it get cut, a lot of times they're like, a couple more of those. You know, they wanted a pound of something. We put it on the scale and we're right on it. We're really close, and they say, because then now they can see what it looks like and how much food, or they saw what it looked like and it looked so good, they want some more. Or go ahead and finish off that rack. I'll take the rest of those bones. You know, it's when you see it, and you smell it. So that's really good. Also, the line that they're wrapped around the dining area and looking at all the food.
That's what happened to us when we went to Texas. Yeah, we were
man.
like, "Look at that dude's plate. That's sick."
Yeah, and you want that. No,
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's an aspect there too, no doubt.
it's fun.
Did you go through iterations of designing this, or was it pretty much you knew from Texas this is exactly how you wanted it?
There was probably a few things. Money did come into effect. We had to remove some stuff. I drew pretty much just a rectangle, and then measured the smokers, put in the smokehouse, drew a walk-in, put in the kitchen, put where the warmers would be the cutting block. You have to find out how long the cutting block is, how long your refrigerated prep is, all your how big. I mean, where everything goes. Kind of draw the restrooms over here, dining area, patio, and then our builder would look at it, ask questions, and then he'd come back with some options from the architect. And I remember one of them. There was three options. One of them had a drive-through, and that was a thing for a bit. But then everything at that time was going up. Lumber and a lot of other just raw materials were just going
Metal.
sky high. Yeah, everything went up, and we had to start pulling back on some stuff. And we drive-through got cut. It's I think pretty much why that we have that wraparound behind, which is convenient for
Yeah,
parking,
that's nice.
employee parking. But yeah, the drive-through got lost, and that's the main one I remember. There's a few other things, but everything, when you're doing a bank loan, they're very involved, and you don't just have access to everything you want and do whatever you want. They keep a close eye. It was an interesting process. The whole building process. It was
wild.
It was
Wildest
a
process
lot.
I've ever been through. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And the whole time, we're still running the trailer.
Yeah. right.
And I think what did we take 1 week off?
We took 1 week off between closing down the trailer and just being straight up open at the new place. 2 meals to 7.
We took 1 week off, moved over everything we could, and then the next week was normal. Prep and get after it.
Wow, impressive.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Did you always know you wanted to build?
No. I mean, it works. Really, we would have liked just the perfect old seasoned looking place that you can move into, and here's the barbecue joint. But everywhere around here, I don't know, we just couldn't find anything that had enough parking. We knew we needed a lot of parking. And then smokehouse. So no one else has enough room behind their building that we were looking at to have enough space for all. We wanted, 4 smokers.
Yeah.
It would either cut the parking lot into 2 pieces because it would, go back probably to the property line, and then there's, customers can't get out, or it would just take so much natural parking that now we have parking issues again. It was also really hard to find a piece of property that was reasonably priced and not in a floodplain. A lot of property in Russellville is in a floodplain. In fact, a small piece of ours is, but they build it up and grade it off, and it flows off correctly. But we had to move the building and turn it when that was found out. So there was
stuff going on during the build all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, EWI does a great job, so it's fantastic. But I mean, there's just I had no clue how much stuff we were going to just run into, not necessarily problems, but things we had to figure out along the way.
And then they start asking you really complicated stuff like, what color do you want us to paint the walls? You're like, oh no. What kind of wood do you want in the patio? Cool looking old wood? I don't know. Yeah.
So we've never been restaurant owners before or anything like that. So that aspect of it is all new to us. So we're learning a lot. We've learned a lot this year, not only about running the restaurant, but personnel and keeping everything going. And luckily, we have a great crew to help us out. You guys know who you are. I'm looking at you right now on the camera. Shout out to all our crew. We love you. But yeah, you got to have a great team. That's the only way is to have a team. No matter how hard me and Bob want to get out there and get after it in the restaurant, you got to have a crew. Got to have a crew. Good one.
Truck, we could pick up slack.
Yeah.
It was just so smaller, but now we tried to answer the call really for customers so we can get more food out there and be more open, more meals, more days open. And you have to have people for that. We're way too big. And I'm not saying that like we're huge. We're small compared to even just fast food chains around here. But from what we did at the truck to now, we're huge. When we opened, this shows my lack of experience with restaurants and how to run them. But, we had like 4 people, 5 at the most at the truck. And I'm thinking, okay, we probably get, 6, 7 people. Maybe like we could do this. We just need a few hires and we'll be good. Get like 12 people. And that's what we did. And we were working 90 to 100-hour weeks because we were so understaffed. I couldn't believe it. And
That's crazy.
It was rough. Had a lot of regulars worried about us, looking at us, because we
haven't seen you guys.
Yeah,
You look like a skeleton.
I looked awful. I was,
Yeah, you do.
I was, Grant was running the smokehouse, and I was cutting both meals. I'm the early guy. I get in early, try to get there about 5. Sometimes it's just after, and then you work, and then I would cut lunch, and then I would do whatever in between lunch and dinner, clean up, get ready, do some orders, and then cut dinner, and then clean up. The block gets pretty messy, and the warmers get messy. And I'd get home, every night between like 10 and 11, maybe just after. Also inexperienced closing and stuff. And I'd go to sleep. My house is asleep. Everybody, kids, wife. You go home, go to sleep. Alarm goes off. You wake up. Everyone's asleep. My kids didn't see me for like 2 weeks. By the time we finally got some more help, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
It was
I remember
painful. Hurt.
It went from a good night was where we didn't have to stay there all night to leaving at 2 a.m. That became a good night. And then the good night became leaving at midnight. That was when it was like, we were like, oh, this is a lot better. Now we don't have that anymore, thankfully. Like I said, we've improved a lot of our processes and stuff like that where, most of us are out of there by 9, 10 at the latest, if that. But yeah, a good day used to be a not all-nighter. That was the only thing that would that you got some sleep when the restaurant first opened. And that's, I know that there's a lot of our guests out there. And gosh, I just want to say to the people that have come to our place to eat, thank you guys so much for the support and the kindness that you guys have shown us and the love here in Russellville. We just can't thank you enough. We know that when we come out with things like specials or new meats and stuff like that, it takes us a little while to do that. And that's because we are really trying to make sure that it's perfected and it's good before it launches and it rolls out. And that here in the restaurant, there's a lot of moving parts to being able to do that. So a lot of people need to be involved. A lot of people need to be communicated with so that all these parts can come together as the whole and we can make something new happen, something fun happen. So, yeah, there's a lot more great stuff coming down the pike for Ridgewood, like a lot of cool specials and cool things we're going to be able to do. Now, it's taken several months to really get a handle on. I feel like we're finally kind of getting a handle on the place now finally. It's taken this long, and we're still got a lot of things to work on, but this is where things are a lot better now.
Yeah, and people, and today, for instance, we trim all of our briskets for the week. At one point, we had either 6 or 7, probably 7 people trimming briskets. And today, how many?
4.
4.
3 or 4, yeah. Me, Z, and Jacob.
4, and they did it in probably half the time that 7 people used to do it, and it's better. So we've come a long way with just efficiency, quality,
Training.
Training. It's just taken a while, and that's helping out so much. It's a big deal, and it's like that for everything. Getting people in to learn the sides. We make our own sauce. We typically make, I'd say a little over 300 pounds of sauce a week on average. Some weeks, if the week before it gets hit pretty hard, we'll make a 4th batch, and each batch is just over 100 pounds. So, and I don't get that. Why are people eating so much sauce? It goes great on a sandwich, but I see some of this brisket completely covered.
Yeah. All right. Here's our PSA right now.
Man.
I'm talking to the camera right now. All right, y'all, come in and get you some brisket. I know you love our sauce. Eat a little bit of the brisket first before you hit it so hard with the sauce and see what you think about it. Because we do buy Creekstone Farms prime beef. It is amazing beef. It's
Black Angus.
Yes, it's a certified Black Angus. It is the bomb. Just try it out a little bit with a little about that sauce.
And it is
first,
delicious. It is a great sauce. We get a lot of compliments on that. I love it. Goes great on chicken. It's great to take home and use.
Yep.
But mercy, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of sauce.
But we love that y'all love our sauce.
I do.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Thank y'all. Yeah. We make almost everything. That's what takes us so some people ask us, why aren't you open more? Why don't you just be open more days of the week like everybody else? Well, the reason behind that is because unlike everybody else, we're making everything we have. We make our own pickles. We slice all of our own onions every week. We make our own barbecue sauce. We trim all of our meat. We make our own rubs and seasonings. We render down our own beef fat into beef tallow that we can use and sell. I'm probably leaving some stuff out that we do to prep and actually have things that are homemade every time.
Well,
every week.
Every one of our sides. We hand cut our cabbage. We don't get it pre-shredded. We get whole cabbage, and we same way with our carrots and just all our fresh vegetables. So, and a lot of that goes down tomorrow. So when people ask me, oh, when are you going to open another day? I'm like, well, the only day really could be a Wednesday, but the place is 100% fully involved in prepping for Thursday. And I don't know how we would do it. Plus, it's if it was bigger, we might could pull it off. But it really is a small restaurant. The heating and cooled inside is only about just under 1,500 square feet, and it's split about half and half. Dining room, living room. Dining room's a touch bigger, so there's no room to be serving guests and everything at the same time. And we want some days off. The
Plus,
restaurant's finally
quality. Yeah, I mean.
Monday,
doing it more affects the quality. The more you're open and the more you cook and the more you have to do it, that could affect your quality. You're more tired. You're more everything.
And you need more people.
You need more people. You need people.
So we actually have Monday. Monday is Ridgewood's actual true day off unless there's some sort of a catering. So Monday, nothing. And you need that, I mean, we all have to have some time off. So, and then it makes Tuesday, Wednesday prep days, and
then we're selling and we're doing it. Yeah. Start cooking tomorrow.
And we see people there. We have quite a few people still, with our cars. There's kind of 8 or 9 vehicles out there and people. It looks like we're open. We get people up there every Tuesday or Wednesday wishing we were open. Some flustered,
They need that sauce.
They need that sauce.
And others understand. We try to have signage out front that people can see from the road, just so they can see that we're not open, even though there's cars. And I like to see that. It's cool to see people want your food even when you're not open. But
it is.
But they're nice days. We all get to work and visit, and there's no customers, so it's fun, and we all get along. It's a nice place, and we would just, if we were open more, we would lose that. It'd become a little less personal with everyone we work with, and we've met a lot of good people. It's awesome. It really is.
Yep. Well said.
How do you, kind of going back to that team question, how do you find these people that are ready to take ownership and really build something cool with y'all?
Most of them found us.
Yeah.
I think setting yourself up with a brand that is recognizably quality. Presenting yourself as a couple of quality individuals that can be relied on. I think people saw our hard work at the trailer, that we're out there. I mean, we're owner operated, man. We're putting it in. We work the restaurant every day. There's not a single day that we don't work the restaurant. We're working it every day. And I think certain types of people, like the ones we're looking for, they see that and they apply. Some people we found through friends or word of mouth, things like that. Some have been customers and wanted to come over and work with us. So
some employees,
yeah, I
they
think
like it and they know a friend looking for a job.
Yeah.
And we've got several that way, actually, So
and that's worked out nice. Some we've had some cold hires that have worked out great too. We've had people that haven't worked out, and that's just the nature of the game, We just want to be able to keep cooking and do something for our community and have a place that people can rely on and trust that when they go spend their hard-earned money on food, that it's going to be consistent and it's going to be good, and that they're going to get exactly what they paid for. And that kind of goes back to that line style where they're able to see their tray going down going down the line and seeing all their food that they're getting cut there right in front of them, right off of the main cut. So I think those are some of the things that attract people to want to work at a place like ours.
And if we roll it back a little bit, I think some of the people listening, maybe they're a younger person wanting to do something on their own, like you guys have.
Yeah.
Going back to before you guys opened up the truck, what was that like? How'd you know that y'all were ready? Whose idea was it? Have you always been, sort of doing stuff like this?
No. I don't know. So I'll tell you really how it began. It's really kind of over several years. I used to work on appliances. I know that comes up a lot, but he and I were going to do a competition. Kansas City Barbecue Society was coming to Pope County Fairgrounds, which was like in my backyard, and he was in Wisconsin, and he found it and he told me about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So we both got the same smoker and started working on stuff. Something didn't work out. We didn't get to do that, but it was fun leading up to that, and really, I guess, sparked or took off, our interest, kind of ramped it up big time. And I was at a customer's house one day, and they had a barbecue trailer. There's 3 guys involved, and I don't know, once a month or so, they'd roll up into the City Mall parking lot. It was called the Rib Wagon. And I would go there when they were there. I loved it. It was great. And they told me they were selling it. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Interesting. Well, how much? And it was very reasonably priced for the smoker. It was a full kitchen. They were going to give recipes and everything. And I thought, okay, that's cool. And I was like, excuse me a second. And I just went out in their front yard. And I'm like, I call him up. He answers. I don't know where he was at. I'm like,
Me?
hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I called you. I'm like, hey, dude.
Probably work.
Told him about the Rib Wagon. Said they want to sell it. What do you think? Would you want to do something like that? Because, he needs something to do down here, like a good job, and he moved back to Wisconsin with his wife. Plenty of jobs up there. So I'm like, we could do this. I think we could sell some barbecue down here. And he's like, okay. I don't know if we just decided right then, but we decided.
I felt like we
to do
did,
it.
man.
Yeah, we decided, okay, let's do it.
I felt like I made my mind up.
And I told him, I'm like, all right, we'll take it. We want the thing. I'm like, all right. And I don't know. They had to talk about it and how it was going to work. And then turns out one of the guys wanted to keep it. So that fell through. And I thought, well, why don't we just get our own trailer then? I mean,
yeah,
if that hadn't been for sale
somehow, yeah.
I mean, seriously, maybe this would not exist. I mean, it really was a good price. It was a good deal. And I thought, okay. And then whenever that fell through, I thought, well, we'll just get our own stinking trailer. And we did get a terrible trailer, but we fixed it up. And it did well. Trailer was good. There was something else I wanted to say.
Well, I'd say for people who are wanting to start something in a similar method to us is we were both still working full time when even when we had the truck and we opened the truck. So in our spare time, we would fix up the trailer, work on recipes, on the weekends, barbecue just as much as we can. to try to get ready to do that. And luckily, we were able to build our customer base very well and kind of slowly, because Robert had done so much appliance work here in Russellville that he had a nice contact list of a lot of really great folks that we could reach out to. And one day he just said, "Hey Grant, you want me to reach out to these people and see if they want to buy some barbecue basically at our cost, so we can just practice cooking for them and practice selling it to people to see what that's like?" And a lot of them responded. And so it was at first we were just selling our stuff like once a month, out of the trailer. Come pick it up
Out of the garage.
out of the garage. Out of the garage.
It
That's
was
right.
funny, honestly. Whenever we were like, okay, let's do that. Okay, so I pull out my contact list and I just start going through, and I'd see a name. That might be weird for that person, because I don't just talk to these people. I mean, they're appliance customers, and I just would save contact info. And okay, I don't think they'd mind, And I just send them a message. Hey, me and my friend are cooking some barbecue. We have pulled pork for $6 a pound. And
$6 a pound.
whatever else, and we got a bunch of takers.
Yeah, we did.
That was cool.
And that helped us practice cooking so that we could actually get good at cooking at volume, because we were just cooking like one, for our house, me and my wife can't eat 3 pork butts and 2 briskets. So we, cooking a large quantity was great for us to be able to practice in this method for basically free, because we just simply recouped the cost and got a lot of takers because the price was so low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that way you're cooking 10 or 15 butts.
And you could try that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that gets you better faster.
And then we started, doing a little bit more, making sauce in a small pot. And then next thing you know, the pot's too small. You need to make a lot more sauce. We want to start doing other meats. Started offering beans. Do we make any other sides other than beans?
We made beans first, and then I feel like you made slaw. I feel like
I think so.
did. Yeah. Potato salad.
Maybe. But yeah, so we just got our practice that way, because I don't know, I didn't see any other way to do it.
Nope, we just grinded it out until we thought it would last on its own. So we were both working. I left my job first. I left the job first. He still continued to work, and then I would do all the prep and stuff during the week, because he was still working, until we were sure that it was going to work out for us to both just do the barbecue. So that's how it worked at first.
Yeah, I think.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think. You were getting paid by Ridgewood, and I wasn't. Is that real? Because I still had my job. Did we do that?
I don't remember that.
Because you needed. I needed
money.
a job.
Yeah, I think I was getting paid by Ridgewood a very minimal amount, but I was getting paid by Ridgewood.
Yeah,
I think.
Whatever what you needed, and I don't think I took any at the time because I still had my job.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when we found, realized that we could sell enough, okay, well, then I can join up, and Ridgewood can pay me too. And but we saved so much from the truck. We would not have been able to do this. When you get a loan from a bank, you need some money. It's called a down payment, and
It's serious.
and then there's just other stuff that comes up, and it's really expensive. It's tough.
I also want to use this opportunity to say thanks to Hollingsworth Appliance as well, because we worked there, and the owner, Stan Hollingsworth, allowed us to set up our food truck in his parking lot once a month on a Saturday, even though he stood nothing to gain from that at all, really. So we were able
Free
to,
lunch.
Yeah, free lunch for the
That's
boss.
it.
For the boss man.
He didn't charge us anything
Shout out,
else.
boss
He just
man.
wanted
Yep.
him and his wife, I think,
Yeah.
just a little lunch.
So, to tell you the truth, and for other people that are listening, if you're out there looking at social media or whatever, and you see other people out there, having certain successes and stuff like that, and they tell you that they're all self-made and stuff, I would be willing to bet that a lot of those people had help. We certainly had help. So don't think that if you're out there trying to do something that you necessarily have to do it all on your own. Do your best to find you some good people out there. There are good people that want to help you out. Just try to connect with them the best you can. And don't feel like that you're, like, oh, I got to do this all by myself. Got to bring it up from the ground up. And, sometimes you do, but we've had help along the way that we're very thankful for. And we never forget that. It's important.
100%. How do you guys meet?
School, elementary school.
Mm-hmm. We've been best friends since 4th grade. Yep. So we just maintained that friendship. I've told this story. I'll tell it one more time. No, this won't be the last time I'll tell it. But first time I ever even heard of this guy, riding bikes in the neighborhood with some of my friends, I see some kid, blonde, bang, curly hair, flying by on a red bike, fast. I asked my friends, who's that? They're like, oh, that? That's Robert Couser. And I'm like, oh, well, see if we can catch up to him, man. He's really hauling. And they're like, nah, no way. He's got a 10-speed. So that was the first time I ever heard of him. And we had a lot of great kids in that neighborhood. And Rob and I just maintained our friendship throughout our whole life. And that's called Ridgewood Brothers for a reason. I don't have a real brother. I can't imagine being any closer to one than I am to Robert. So there you go.
Almost 30 years now. I just realized it's
messed up.
I'm so used to saying like 25 years to people, but we're talking, since we're like 10.
Yes, that's
We'll
right.
be 40 soon.
I wish it was still 1998, man. It's all good. Now we're having fun with it.
That's incredible, guys.
Thanks, man.
It's a great story.
Thank you very much.
My last question for y'all is why Russellville? Was this where y'all grew up at?
Yeah, we both actually moved here from different places at the same time. You moved here in 2nd grade,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
From Van Buren?
Yeah, born in Van Buren. Parents moved us here in 2nd grade. So I consider myself from here. I mean, I was 7 years old. So
Yep, I was born in Fort Worth and moved here from Fort Worth when I was 7 and we started the same school, went to Sequoia here.
Yep.
And we've just been here the whole time. And, as the business was growing, it was working, and then the truck worked. And, well, before we got going, I always told Grant, if this doesn't work here, this is not the end. We will roll her down the road. We'll go somewhere else. But Russellville has always come out, and they've supported us. We have so many regular customers. And by regular, I mean some of these people have come over 100 times, like easy. Some people come literally every weekend. And, it works. We would never leave. Like I said, if the truck was struggling, we would have tried this somewhere else. We weren't going to give up because we knew
it's good.
that and we work hard. We weren't going to give up. But Russellville's, they like it, and we like Russellville.
This is our home.
Yeah, we didn't want to move, but we would have to pursue working with each other and for ourselves. And plus barbecues. Very difficult, but it is fun. It's very rewarding. I don't know. It's still something when we still look at the food when it comes off, and we're just like, oh, look at that. Look at this.
It's still exciting. Yeah.
Look at the bark
Every
on that.
time, yeah.
Oh, it's shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's seriously, we don't just take it off now and and I mean, we are still just in awe. Look at this rack,
Yeah.
I don't know. We love it.
Yeah, we
and
do,
it
man.
smells good. It's fun.
And just to hit on a point, why Russellville? Number one, Russellville is where we're from. And that's where we want to be. We want to be here where we're from with our people. This is our hometown. And, we wanted to come back. I wanted to come back here after moving, and we wanted to do this here mainly because I'm not saying we've improved Russellville necessarily, but how can you take a place that you love and want to make it better but leave it? You can't help it by leaving, right? If you want it to have a certain experience, a certain change, a certain thing, you're not going to get that by going somewhere else. If you want things to be good, or if you want to have a good restaurant or a good place, put in the work, build it, put down the roots in your hometown, and get it done.
It is cool to contribute to where we grew up.
Yeah.
And,
Give back.
we see so many people we know because we have been here our whole lives. I see grade school teachers, middle school, junior high, high school teachers, coaches, retired. Some of them, obviously don't recognize, but when you tell them, it's crazy. A teacher always remembers you. You're like, did you teach at the junior high? Like, yeah. Were you one of my students? Yes, ma'am. It was probably 99. They're like, what's your name? And you give it to them. They're like, oh, I remember you, and then they start coming back more because, it's one of their students' restaurants. That's cool. I always like seeing old faces like that.
Speaking about like contributing to something bigger in Russellville, change. What are you guys excited about over the next 5-10 years here in Russellville?
Oh man, I think that we're not only going to see some fun growth as far as like just I'll just use the word, I don't know if it like entertainment, but just more things going on here that are going to make the town feel like more of a community, I would say. Like just further that along, like everything that the downtown crew, people like Danielle Hausnick has done to really solidify the downtown. Even our own Emily Young, councilwoman, Brainstorm owner, Dog Ear Books owner. I mean, she's done a great job of really making sure that businesses, a business gets started and it's community based, community focused. So I'm hoping that we see is that people look to people like Emily, for example. And there's lots and lots of others, not just us, but seeing what they're doing and thinking, hey, you know what? Because that's what I thought when we got into barbecue. If this guy can do it, maybe I can too. And I'm hoping that we'll see that. And I hope the food scene in Russellville, I hope it blows up. I hope a lot of new, great, exciting restaurants come in, and you're like, oh, why would you want that? Because don't you want them to come to your restaurant? Yes, but that's going to raise the level of quality throughout the town, and everyone then will be able to recognize, hey, this is I kind of lost my train of thought, but this is what we're known for, just really bringing up the level of quality of anything that we do, and having, you have your family who lives out of town, you want to bring them back to Russellville to visit. There's going to be some banging spots for you to go take them to eat that won't be not disparaging a chain, but a chain. Ridgewood Brothers, Old South coming back. Nana Bella's, Wildflower Cafe. I mean, I could
Pasta Grill.
Yes, Pasta Grill, Crack House. I could keep going, man. There's people, Daddy's Smacking Wings and things. This place is off the chain. There's so many great places in Russellville already. I'm just hoping to see even more, man. Locally owned spots that people are really trying to throw down some good food.
Would also, it'd be a proud moment to have. Like for years when we've grown up, how many people travel to Conway and Little Rock to go eat. I'd like to see that in reverse. People not just coming to Ridgewood, but coming to Russellville for food. I would think that would be pretty awesome. When I do. I'm very proud when people say I drove from Little Rock to come here. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man, thank you. You here on anything, family, business? And he's like, no, I came here for this, man. And you're just.
Yeah,
thanks.
That's great.
You can't help but smile, and
it's crazy.
You just hope they love it. I mean, you know how hard you worked, so you know what it is, but you still hope they're going to like it. Like they came all this way, and you want them to like it enough to make the trip again. That's a really good compliment when you have people from out of town that come once every month or two. Because turn around, take 3 hours out of a day that you have off just to eat a meal for 20 or 30 minutes is all the compliments you need. And when you see them again, you're doing it. You're doing right. It's cool, and I'd like to see more of that. And and in Russellville too, just more people with more food scene,
locally owned.
Yes, more. Yeah, because chain. I mean, we all eat chain food, and it's great. But you got your own in your own town, so you have to have something very specific.
Gives the town some soul.
Yeah,
a spirit. Yeah,
it's awesome.
100%. And I think Russellville is like really starting to see a lot of change in that community building. That's what I'm really excited for too.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And people such as yourself, this is a great example. People such as yourself doing this right here is what helps make Russellville better, because we're here able to talk to our guests or people that might not even be our guests yet and get our faces out there in front of them. And you're sitting here to help us facilitate that and set up this beautiful arrangement for us. Man, thank you, because you're helping make Russellville better right now. So thanks.
Well, you're welcome. And thanks
Yes.
to everyone listening. And yeah, from Russellville, the community, to you guys, thank you. Thank you all around, I guess.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
It's
you,
been,
everybody. Thank you.
Yes, we love you guys.